Alchemist show.
Hello, welcome to the Alchemist Show. I'm Justin Winger talking about cars from the Fast and Furious franchise. Today I'm here with Tim Meyer to go over these cars. So the first car I kind of want to go over is the 1968-1970 Dodge Charger, which had a 330 horsepower V8 engine and 140 miles per hour as its top speed.
Yeah, I can say that it is a good car. It's in every single one of the movies that Dom is in, from Fast and Furious all the way to Furious 7. It appears the most, and everybody knows it when they watch Fast and Furious, along with the other two cars that everybody knows, the 94 Supra and the 99 Skyline R34.
Yeah, which had the same inline six engine, right?
Yeah, both of them had inline sixes, but they did both have a different horsepower. The Supra had 320, the Skyline had 276. However, the Skyline had a higher speed than either of those two cars, the Charger and the Supra.
Yeah.
Despite not being the sportiest of the three, it's more of a family car per se, if you really stretch that term out. But yeah, it's the fastest of them all, despite having the lowest horsepower.
Okay, next we're going to go to the 2001 Honda S2000. It had an inline 5 engine, a 240 horsepower, and 160 top speed.
I ain't got really much to say about the Honda S2000. It's an okay car. I'm not really a big fan of Hondas to begin with. So, honestly, I don't have much to say. It's not a slow car, and it's definitely not a bad car. But the looks of it are mediocre.
All right. Next, we're going to skip to one of the hypercars. We're going to go with the Koenigsegg CCXR from Fast and 5. This was like at the end of the movie when they pulled off that big heist, and they both pulled up in the Koenigsegg's. I really liked the design of the car. It had 806 horsepower, a V8 engine, and 250 miles per hour as its top speed.
Like you said, the Koenigsegg is an amazing car. I love Koenigsegg's.
They're well manufactured too.
The CCXR is the advanced version of the CCX. Definitely it's got some insane speed, 250, though it was not the fastest car in the world.
Yeah.
806 horsepower, about as much as a modern Hellcat Demon. Like I said, it's just an amazing car overall. The looks could be better for a hypercar, but I will definitely say I cannot say something bad about the car besides those minor look issues. And that's still a really nice car.
I think the next car we're going to go over is the 1966 Corvette Stingray. I think that was one of your favorite cars when we brought up the topic.
Yeah, I love the Corvette Stingray from '66. Really, really nice looking American car. When you think of that classic Corvette, that's what you think of as the Corvette Stingray. 425 horsepower with a V8, though it was kind of slow for that much horsepower at 140 miles per hour, which isn't like unbearably slow, but it's not something compared to the Dodge Charger.
So we're gonna kind of get into the villains cars in the Fast and Furious franchise. The 2015 Jaguar F-Type was the car of There was two brothers after the name was Shaw. I think it was Derek or Deckard. I don't know which one it won, but one of them owned it. It was a nice car. I think the first appearance it made in Furious 7 is when when he was going to see his brother in that heavily guarded hospital, and he pulled off, and it was a pretty good looking car. It had 500 horsepower, a V8 engine, and 186 as its top speed.
definitely fits Jason Statham's personality.
Yeah,
A
pretty sleek
Jaguar.
like him too.
I love Jaguars for
Mhm.
one. They're a bit. They're in that between of being a luxury car and a sports car, and especially the F-Type, one of Jaguar's infamous cars.
Mhm.
They have all their different letter types going all the way back into like the 50s and 60s with Le Mans racing. It's got an alright speed, but then again, it's not specifically for sport.
It's like a luxury sports car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I prefer having a luxury car or a sports car?
It's the best of both worlds. In my
You
opinion.
can definitely get
Yeah.
both, but and one that I think is both a luxury car and a sports car. This is an insane car for me, in my opinion. Is the McLaren 720S from Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
We see this. He's driving through London, just speeding through traffic, oncoming traffic. 710 horsepower with a V8, and it's got 212 miles per hour. I love McLarens.
Yes, they're very beautiful cars.
Very beautiful cars. Really nice British manufacturer. If you're thinking of almost peak performance car, I'm going to go with McLaren.
Mm-hmm.
I have always loved McLaren all the way back since the F1, which held the world's fastest car for a really long time since its release. Been in racing. But the 720S in particular is new for that year, 2019, when it came out in 2018. Like I said, it's just a really nice car. I love how McLaren, they do their designs in the front with that curved inline, the intake. I cannot say anything about the 720S.
It was just an overall beautiful car. And when I seen it in the movie, it was just amazing. And can't say much more than that. Let's talk about a car that doesn't even really exist. Is the 2014 Lincoln Hypersport. This appeared when they were trying to pull off that heist in the big skyscraper, and they drove it through 2 different buildings, and at the end of it, the car was totally destroyed. But the design in it was pretty beautiful.
The looks of it is really. It looks like it's a really fast and crazy car, but there's not an existing running type yet, as far as we know.
And
it's claimed to have 770 horsepower.
Yeah.
But we have yet to see it run.
Yeah, I would like it totally to be created, but I don't know if it'll happen, because it's been a minute since that movie was made, and I don't think they'll.
And there's been a lot of speculation with Lycan Motors for a good while because of that car.
Mm-hmm.
Can reach a crazy speed for an inline 6 at 245 miles per hour.
Yeah. Next, we're gonna jump back to Fast 5. We're gonna go over the 1965 Ford Gt40. I think you said this was one of your favorite cars.
If I could say I had a favorite car from Fast and Furious, it'd be the Gt40. I am in love with the Ford Gt40. It's an amazing race car. It's crazy. You know, it raced against Ferrari at Le Mans, just absolutely smashed them at the racing events.
Yes.
And humiliated the company over and over and over for like 4 years. Just Ferrari just could not beat it. And then I love how later on in 2017, with the 50th, I think it was the 50th anniversary for winning Le Mans, they had the new 2017 Ford GT win the GTLM class against Ferrari again.
Yeah, it was just a really beautiful car. It's pretty fast as well, 165 miles per hour is its top speed. That's about it that's about it we all have time for today. Thank you for talking about this with me today. All right. This has been Justin Wingeter and Tim Meyer. Bye.
In the United States, the first public schools began in 13 original colonies in the 17th century. Boston Latin School was the first on April 23rd, 1635.
I was the first female student at Boston Latin School in 1859. We learned Latin, reading, writing, and arithmetic. I was the first woman to earn a PhD in 1877.
That was 1635, where few subjects were taught. As schools grew, subjects like science and social studies were added.
Sustain school. Hey class, it's 2021. Now you can pick from digital media, health occupations, welding, construction, computers, or automotive, among other trades.
I dropped out of high school for a while, and all the jobs I applied for needed a high school education.
I could have dropped out of school when I was in 10th grade, but I decided to stay. Now I'm in a career center class and I love it.
I want to be an auto mechanic when I grow up. No, I don't want to drop out at all.
So stay in school, or else.
Do it please or else.
Or else.
Why is California the place to go? This state is not just known for its movie world we know today, but filled with other events happening in the second largest state. Before it was even a state, in 1848, at the end of the Mexican-American War, California became a U.S. territory when gold was struck in 1849 at Salter's Mill in Colombia. More than 100,000 people, nicknamed 49ers, rushed to California to seek their fortune. Just as the year later, in 1850, California officially became a state and got its nickname the Golden State. You can expect great weather no matter where you are in California. This state is the only state in the U.S. to host summer 1932, 1984, and winter 1960 Olympics. During the late 1960s, the first workable internet prototype through the U.S. Department of Defense comes into realization at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, where apartment played a role of delivering communication between computers. Since then, technology continues to grow. Notably, in Silicon Valley, Yosemite has adventure activities from low-impact ones like fishing and birdwatching to daredevil pursuits such as rock climbing and rafting. Sequoia National Park has the tallest trees in the world. If you enjoy laying on the beach to relax or see the Pacific Ocean, Big Sur and San Diego is one of the places to see. And what would California be? What would it be, California, without San Francisco? Enjoy a ride on the cable car or hop on a boat cruise for a cruise beneath the Golden Gate Bridge. And not forget Los Angeles, filled to the brim with the glamour of chic Hollywood name brands and movies. If these words aren't enough to convince you, then come on down to California to see yourself.
The world's oceans are at the start of 25% of trash and growing more and more. The animals come from the water to the beach and they get caught up in this trash and take it further down the water, which it can cause other creatures to get caught up in this trash and even die from this terrible stuff. Over 17.6 billion pounds of trash has been thrown and dumped into the water each year, and it's still growing. You and other people can help these animals today by cleaning our water to save their future and ours. If it's not from the sea, don't let it be. You can help donate or volunteer with Oceana. Click or call 757-444-3000 3040 or Oceana.com.
Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome back to the Alchemist Show. I'm here with Mr. Cook, talking about cinema cameras. Okay, so we're going to start off with the best for cost, Sony FX6 with its 4K image quality, facial detection, compact size, 35mm full-frame CMOS sensor, and costs about $7 to $10K depending on the package you get.
So, $7,000 to $10,000. Does that get you a lens as well?
If you pay for the extra lens kit, it does come with an attachable lens, a beam mount lens, and you get a handlebar with an LCD screen. You can mostly what it comes with when you just buy it base is just the box with the sensor on it. Is there anything you can say about the camera?
I've not used it, but I know Sony makes good cameras, and the FX6 looks like it'd be good for documentaries or feature films that need a good mobile camera, like if they're doing point of view shots and things like that. And of course, you can always put on a tripod and make it still a steady camera. And that have there been movies made with that one?
Yeah, there's been plenty of short films. You got El Rey, Rivers at 2,000 Degrees Fahrenheit, Sky on Fire, and The Wilderness Nearby.
Okay, so it looks like it's an entry-level camera that people want to do short films, maybe get some recognition to get big Hollywood looking at them. And being a 35mm full frame is going to help it out quite a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely a good size sensor for a camera. Moving on to the best in business, I'm going to talk about the cheaper one of the two. We got the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro, which is a brand new camera. Got 12K image quality. On Blackmagic's website, it's quoted as most advanced camera. Can record 240 frames per second, lots of built-in features, a super 35mm sensor, and $6,000, but it only comes with the body. You can't buy any kits with it.
So you have to have your own lens. What lenses does it take? Do you know?
I think it takes beam mount lenses, really a universal lens attachment. You can get adapters for it if needed.
So what they're basically, the cinema business, you use prime lenses, which is a fixed focal length. So they expect you to have your own lenses or to get lenses for it. And if you, what's the weight of the Ursa? Do you know?
The Ursa. I did not put it on there.
Well, it looks like it's probably about the same size as the Sony PXW, probably. So about 6 to 10 pounds, I would say.
I've seen one of these things in person too. It wasn't the Mini Pro, but I have seen an Ursa. Wasn't used in a lot because it's a brand new camera. Dancing is Not a Crime, which is music video, Burning Cane, a movie, and it was used to film The Resident in association with the next camera. An infamous camera in movie production in Hollywood is the Arri Alexa. It's an absolutely crazy workhorse camera with 6.5K image quality, lifelike image, compatibility with Max. Probably about the biggest sensor I've seen on any sort of modern camera, a 65mm full frame CMOS sensor. The cost is crazy at about $50,000 to $100,000.
And Arri rents a lot of these cameras. They don't sell the package itself, do they?
You can get, the only one that they actually rent out is the Arri Alexa 65, which is that 65mm full frame. But you can get a normal Arri Alexa with like a 60mm sensor, and you can just buy that outright. But again, it costs a crazy amount of money.
65 millimeters is good for action films. They use that, and when it was standard film, they would use for action film, science fiction film, something you want a wide screen. And we forgot to mention the Ursa is Super 35 sensor, which is a little bit bigger than regular 35, which is what most basic movies are shot in, 35 millimeter film stock. And then these sensors are trying to recreate that film look, and it's the same type of kind of the same type of size that a 35 millimeter film stock would get, and that's what they're trying to replicate here with these different millimeter sensors. I'd like to get my hands on one of those. We go up to a 4K on our Panasonic studio cameras.
As you said, how they like to replicate that film look with the Arri Alexa, for example. A lot of the movies that it's been in has won awards for cinematography. You got Hugo, Life of Pi, The Avengers, 1917, Joker, Bohemian Rhapsody, Solo, War of the Planet of the Apes, Rogue One. All these movies with really great imagery and cinematography, all just worked with Arri Alexas.
Yeah, the state of cameras in the last 20 years has really changed. 20 years ago, you would be still shooting on film cameras, and in Hollywood, Panavision was the big name then. I'm sure Panavision's got a digital component too, but Arri, I think, hopped on it first, sooner, and it's just, you know, Panavision was always a rental business, so I don't think they sell any of their cameras. And Arri, being able to sell some of the cameras would just endear them to the independent crowd, especially.
As you mentioned, Panavision with their lenses. Alexa, now Arri brought out with one of their newer lenses, the Signature Prime, that works amazing on the Arri Alexa. I have a picture of an Arri with a Arri Signature Prime on it. The lens itself is about twice the size of the camera. Almost the same size, but brings it out almost twice the length. That's on there right there. It's like I said, a big lens.
Right. The Arris are meant to have a full complement of technicians helping you do that.
Yeah.
You have focus puller, you have assistant, you have the DPS, camera operator, assistant camera operator, focus puller, the grip to move everything around.
It certainly does not take one person to operate. It's an impossible task. I've seen.
You have to be a big bodybuilder to do that.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of camera operators for films having those things on their shoulders. I could not imagine having that sheer weight. The body alone is 23 pounds, which is about the same weight, a little bit more than your ENG camera, but that's just the body. So you can get these things up to like 40 pounds with a Signature Prime lens on it. And you got these big rigs. You got handles. I've seen some behind the scenes with Arri Alexas used, and there's usually about 3 to 4 people per camera. So it's definitely not a one-person job.
No. The Ursa, you can maybe do that, but still with the Ursa, you can add a lot of things on it. All the cameras, you can add a lot of things on it to make it where it's too much for one person. You have to have a crew. And these cameras, the cinema cameras, are looking toward movie production. So in movies, you have to have a big crew. But these are the top of the line stuff, and you don't always need that for your movies if your content's good. People will watch a movie if it's done with the old VHS camcorder, if it has a good story and good acting.
Yeah, because you could adapt one of those into that sort of movie style, where if it's like a classical movie, seeing through the vision, such as Blair Witch Project, how they recorded all that on an old camera. But that's all I have for today. Thank you for discussing with me about cinema cameras.
You're welcome.
That's all from me. Thanks for listening to the Alchemist Show. I got all the materials. Have you done the research?
Yep.
Hey, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just been a long day.
You want to talk about it? I promise I don't make fun of you. I just want to know what's up.
I don't know what's wrong. Lately, everything feels pointless. Like I'm stuck in a cycle and the same day is just stuck on loop. I keep having these thoughts and about how pointless it all is, and they won't stop.
Have you talked to somebody about all this?
No, everyone else thinks I'm fine.
So have you been having any thoughts worse than that? That's good. Bad you're feeling like that, but good it's not worse. I was in a similar position as you when my aunt died. I'm taking some antidepressants.
Isn't that stuff just for people who have really bad mental health problems?
No, medication can be for anyone with mental health issues. Therapy too. Some people go to therapy to help them cope with the stress of life. Here. Here's the number from my psychiatrist. She might be able to help you try it out.
Yeah, I think I'll talk to her. It felt nice just to talk to you.
That's what friends are for.
Hey, sorry for being late. I ran into Matt on the way here.
Oh yeah. So this one's something we could do here.
1 of 5 people deal with some kind of mental health problem. It's not uncommon and it's not invalid. If you're feeling forms of anxiety, depression, or other types of mental illness, visit NAMI.org to find centers near you to help you, or text NAMI to 741-741 for confidential crisis healing. You aren't alone, and together we can heal.
The Alchemist Show.